Hi Tim. Uh, Mate, I have looked through a fair bit of footage of you, and I've come up with something that's fairly common in your attack on your backhand. This is the day about a month ago now, but a fairly decent sized day, clean enough waves. And I'm just going to make a few improvements, hopefully with your technique. So when we're looking at re-entry, there's a few things we need to look at, and first thing is that we want a quality bottom turn, which I have no problem with your bottom turn. Really good, but I'll talk you through a few points with that. And then we'll have to focus on where you look. And where you look is where you go. And that'll be a major consideration. Next thing is you need to hit high and tight. That's why it's very important to look high and tight. The next thing is to rotate out of your turn, and then last, the best way to finish it is to square up towards the beach for the most effective, for the judge's opinion anyway. So I'll go back and we'll start and we'll have a look, and we'll roll the vid pretty slowly and stop in appropriate places. So if I hold it there, you're a little bit out of focus, but the point is you've got a really nice bottom turn. The reason is the amount of board that we have showing there shows me that you're on rail and you're leaning over. You have a tendency to lean a little bit square off your board. So what I mean by that, if you could rotate your shoulders just a little bit more, you find that you would hold that bottom turn a little bit easier. But in saying that, probably your front arm perhaps could be reaching out that way, down that way a little bit more, and this arm up here a little bit higher. If it's a bit hard to see because of the out of focus, but anyway, up here, through here, that front arm there, just giving that counterbalance. If I get rid of that for us, I'll erase all of that. If I move on to the next thing, so, pretty happy with your bottom turn, and the next thing is we want to look at where you're looking. So if I can go through a few more frames, and here up there, and we complete your turn. As you go on to the next one, you lean a little bit too much on that bottom turn, and your front arm didn't lift early enough, and that's why you actually fell there. But if I take you back to the start and we have another look, I want you to concentrate on where you're looking. And at this stage here, I would have to say that you are looking around about here, and that's consequently probably where you go. My suggestion is that you look high and tight, and that way your ball will go high and tight. And so basically you need to be looking up through here, nice high and tight. So if you can look up there, and remember what I said to you the other day is we want to make sure your front foot's above the lip line. That's going to make for quality re-entry. So just move on here a bit more. So now what we're looking at is getting high and tight, and for you to get high and tight, you've got to look to where you want to go. So just go through there a little bit more. If I pause it there, I'm not knocking that at all, because for 80% of surfers, they'd be pretty stoked with that turn, maybe 90%. And maybe I would be. But the fact is, what we really want to do is we want to come from here, go to the bottom, and we want to come vertically up here, and then preferably back down here like that. What's happened with you is you've actually gone from here. Let's get this again. You've come from here up to here, under the lip a little bit, and then you're going to come back down here like that. Okay? So you want to rectify that, because what we really want to see is we want to see you making sure that you do the best surfing you possibly can. So moving along here, if we look at the next thing I want you to do is I want you to rotate out of your turn. So this is the commencement of your rotation. So if I look here and just give you a start on that, which is not too bad. The only thing is there's a little bit of off balance You get to this stage here, you overbalance just a little bit, and then if you progress through, the next thing we want to think about is squaring up towards the beach. Okay, so as you come out here of your turn, you just recorrect it. So what would have been better is when you had that board and you had it there and you had it down there, if you would have gone to the bottom here and then come back up, rather than what happened here is you got that first bit of the turn in really nicely up to, if I get this, if you got up to about here, okay, you got to about here, alright, but then you decided that you were going to change direction and come up here. So you didn't go right to the bottom and you didn't square up out of your turn. That's the next correction you need to make. Other than that, it's pretty good. So, let's go over it again with a re-entry. I'll drag you down here, have a bit of a look at what happens here. Nice bottom turn, but you just overbalance a bit and you don't lift your front arm up, and you're still looking down the line just that little bit too far. So the difference between those excellent scores is the fact that our surfer will gain to a stage where they'll actually hit high and tight, and they do that by eyeballing that section. Alright, so I hope that helps, and I'll send you another one very soon.